The Midnight Whisperer. Marcus Rendon had never been a man of many words. At 38, he lived in the town of San Gregorio, a place where days crawled as slowly as the dust, settling on the shelves of the municipal library. He was a thin man, with an angular face, and dark eyes that seemed to absorb more light than they reflected. The library was his sanctuary, a crumbling building with leaking roofs and shelves, groaning under the weight of books. No one read. Marcos spent his days there, cataloging forgotten tomes. And his nights, well, his nights were for reading under the flickering light of a kerosene lamp. It all changed one October night, when the air smelled of rain and rotting leaves. Marcos was sorting through a batch of donated books, a pile of moldy volumes left by an old man who died the week before. Among them was a book with no title, bound in black leather, its pages crackling as if alive. When he opened it, he saw no words, just scribbles that seemed to writhe under the light. He tried to close it, but a voice stopped him, a low hissing whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Marcos, it said, read me. Marcos should have burned it, but he didn't. The voice called again, the next night, and the next. Soon, the whispers became full sentences, tales of horror that slithered into his mind like oily snakes. They spoke of an ancient being, trapped between the pages, needing a vessel to break free. At first, Marcos thought he was going mad. But then, things started happening. First victim was Elena, the florist, who sometimes brought him coffee in the mornings. She'd had stopped by that afternoon with a potted pansy, and Marcos, without meaning to let the book's words slip from his lips, he told her of a man drowning in a lake of ink, one of the stories the book had whispered. Elena laughed nervously, but that night she didn't make it home. They found her at dawn in the park, eyes wide, hands clutching a fistful of black petals, as if she'd tried to claw something invisible from her throat. Marcos knew immediately. The words were real, and he had unleashed them. He tried to stop reading the book, but he couldn't each night. The whispers called more insistent, more ravenous, and each time he spoke, someone died. The baker who asked for a recipe book collapsed in his kitchen, his tongue black and his eyes full of terror. A girl riding her bike past the library screamed one night and was never seen again. They always left something behind. An echo. A whisper repeating Marcos' name in a tone that froze the blood. The town began to notice, rumors spread, and soon no one dared approach the library. But Marcos couldn't stop. The book had chosen him, and he was its voice. One night, as he reread a page, describing an abyss full of eyes, he felt something shift. The whispers no longer came from the book. They came from him. His own voice had turned sibilant, inhuman, and when he tried to scream, the words emerged as a chant that shook the windows. I tried to warn him, I'm Clara. The town, schoolteacher, and I'd been his friend since we were kids. I went to the library one night, clutching a crucifix my grandmother gave me, and a vial of holy water I wasn't sure how to use. I found him sitting on the floor, surrounded by open books, his face gaunt, and his eyes glowing with an unnatural green light. "Clara," he whispered, his voice a chorus of 1,000 throats. "You can stop it." I tried to speak, but he opened his mouth, and the words poured out like a flood. He spoke of a forest where trees bled, of a sky splitting open like a wound. The air grew heavy, and shadows formed around me, figures with too many arms and unblinking eyes. I ran, dropping the crucifix, and locked myself in my house. But that night the whispers came to my window, and I knew Marcos was no longer Marcos. The town is empty now. Some fled. Others didn't make it. The library still stands, shuttered, but sometimes, at midnight, you can hear an echo, a whisper calling. I don't know what became of Marcos, but I fear the midnight whisperer isn't done speaking. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Turn on notifications and tell us what you thought of the video. And as always, be careful of what's around you.